What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Much love. It is your boy Skywalker the Jedi back at y'all with another one. Man, y'all have no idea how much y'all charge me up, yo. I've been like so busy lately. I have been so incredibly busy. I've been like out the loop somewhat, and I'm just so excited to be here with you guys. About to have this conversation. Plus, this is a conversation that I've been wanting to have for quite some time as well. Quite some time. And I'm going to get into it in 1 second, but I feel kind of uniquely qualified to have this talk with you guys tonight. And I'm just excited because I've been really having this on my mind for like some years and years. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. Much love to everybody in the chat. We got Brogu in the building, Mama Bear, our dog. Much love. You already know it is a pleasure always having you here. We got Bat Dan in the chat. The homie Eric Ware is in the chat. Marcus Neil Sevens is in the chat. We got Jose Diaz in the chat. What's going on? The homie Sickness is in the chat. The Creed, Oak City Gamers. Much love, all y'all. What up, Oak City? Hope you're feeling good, Oak City Gamers. Right? Wait, Mama Bear gotta go fund me. Hey, I know, but make sure you put that link in the chat, Mama Bear. Right? Yo, you guys are amazing, right? Let's get through the rigmarole so we can get started with the show, right? We got the homie El Necron in the chat. What's going on, El Necron? Shouts out to the cool table, right? Oh, yes. Man, if you guys ain't know, we still on that road to 1K. The goal was when the year started, it was like one of my New Year's resolutions was to get to 1,000 subs by the end of 2023. And y'all already know the big homie Mikey was very much a believer that we was going to hit that goal, and so I have no choice but to be a believer as well. So look, make sure that you guys are subscribing to the channel and liking the content, sharing it out, all that stuff. You guys have been amazing, and we're super close to 700, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't check before the stream started, but I think I was at like 697 or something. Somebody said in Necron's chat earlier. So, look, shouts out to you guys. You guys keep up with the subs, and we'll keep pushing this content out for you guys and making sure that we're having these conversations 100%. These hashtags, right? We still rocking with these hashtags from January 03 till infinity until it's done, right? So hashtag sales ZSJL to Netflix, hashtag sales Snyderverse to Netflix, still in full effect. And if you are going to rock out with the hashtags, we ask that you use the rules of engagement, which are number one, we ask that you be positive. Number two, do not mix the hashtags with others, as we're trying to keep the messaging as effective and as focused as possible. And number three, do not mention, reply to, tag, quote tweet, or anything like that James Gunn or anybody else over at WBD. Make sure that you guys are subbed to ZSJL to Netflix on YouTube, and also that you are following ZSJL to Netflix on Twitter. Also, the link is in the description, right? Make sure that you guys head on over to the Mikey Sutton Family GoFundMe in the description. There's a couple days left on that, so we want to make sure that we're giving the family a nice big bump at the end, and really trying to do as much as we can, because they really incurred a lot of unexpected expenses, and it's been a very trying time for all of us in general, but also for them as well. So even more so, because there is this financial angle as well. So we want to make sure that we are supporting them as much as possible, and definitely check the link in the description for the Mikey Sutton Family GoFundMe. It is in the description right now. All right, we'll get caught up with the chat real quick, and then we're gonna get to it. Right, we got the homie Mr. J in the building. What's going on? What's going on, Mr. J? Hope you're feeling better, bro. As well. Yes. You guys are amazing. Let's tap in with the sponsors real quick, and then we're gonna be back, and we're gonna start the show. All right, let's get it.
Steppenwolf, have you begun the conquest?
Man, thank you guys for being here tonight. I really feel like this is an important conversation, right? Because as I said before, I've been thinking about this for the better part of a few years, because it's been going on for quite some time, and I've been noticing it, and with me feeling uniquely qualified to have the conversation, I really do want to bring it to you guys in hopes that we can just get some gears turning, right? Hopefully, to some more people can start thinking about these things. And what my ultimate goal is, that I want to start creating bridges between some of these fandoms, right? Because I think a lot of times what may happen is we let certain things get we let certain things kind of cloud our vision, right? When it comes to what we're doing and what we're striving for, and how to most effectively get that done, right? But I think with what I'm going to present to you guys today during this conversation, I think you're going to start to notice that a lot of times some of these other fandoms, you may have a lot more in common with them than you may so have thought, right? Because it's been pretty crazy. As I've stated, I've been a member of both of these communities for like over a decade at this point, right? Uh, I've been a Zack Snyder fan for God knows how long, right? But especially when Man of Steel came out, I started, getting more into the online aspect of it, right? But yeah, that was in 2013. So yep, you got a decade there, and I've been a fan of the Xbox ever since the first one came out, which was in like the year 2000, 2001, 2002, sometime around there. So yeah, that's like 20 years, right? So yeah, I've kind of noticed these things over the past few years, especially when this Snyder fandom started coming into prevalence, with the release the Snyder Cut movement. That's when things started getting very, very obvious there. But yeah, and it's all kind of coming to a head now. So um, I'm glad that we'll be able to have these conversations, right? But um, a few things that I think that these fan bases have in common is that one, we are fans of these entities, right, or people or what have you, that were that had a lot of stuff that has been ahead of their time, right? Um, Obviously, on the Zack Snyder aspect, right, you have Zach being so early on a lot of these comic book movie topics, and bringing these more adult themes into these films that had pretty much been built for families and kids and teenagers and stuff up to that point, right? And for a lot of people, they weren't ready to have some of these conversations. They weren't ready to have um, some of these characters portrayed in ways in which it wasn't like in the aspect of a family friendly way, right? It was a more it was these more mature themes, right? And a lot of people weren't really ready to have those conversations at that point, right? We got um is Sin Havoc in the building. What's going on, Sin Havoc? Right. And good night to the homie Bat Dan. Hope you all good, bro. But yeah, and we got Bro Grew Brogu saying we all need to look at the common denominator that we have among the fandoms. We have more in common than you realize. Oh yeah, and I'm about to get to that, right? So you know, a lot of people weren't really ready to have those conversations that Zach was trying to bring in these films, right? And if you look around today, right, now those things are being celebrated, right? Um, the most celebrated Marvel movies are all the darkest ones, right? Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Civil War, like those are the darkest films, right? But yet they're celebrated the most, right? Uh, oh man, you guys are dope. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of people weren't really ready to have those types of conversations, right? Now, when you look at what's the prevalent now, these same things are being celebrated, right? When you go back and you look at Microsoft and Xbox and a lot of things that they brought to the forefront, you can make the same claims, right? You can make the same claims that they've been ahead of their time on a bunch of these aspects. Uh, they were the first ones that had hard drives in their consoles, right? Which is a staple now, right? Where you could download CDs and all that stuff. Um, and I'm going to get into a few of these things in the whole moving the goalpost aspect, but um, even just from a point of like when the prior Xbox came out and it was getting slammed because everybody's like, oh man, like they're not they're not focusing on games. They're saying, yo, it's gonna be like a home entertainment console where you're gonna be watching movies at and TV and things like that, right? And it was such a problem back then because they were putting out a console that was, going to be like a home entertainment device, right? Where you're going to have your Netflix and be able to stream and watch TV and all that stuff through your Xbox. And it got slammed at that time. But if you look at all the consoles now, they can do all these same things, right? So they were just ahead of the curve on a lot of these things, right? Um, and if wait, we got Flood Rock saying Xbox messed up when they tried to force the connect on everybody. And I would understand that, right? At the same time, I felt like the voice control stuff was dope and they was trying something different. But I'm gonna get to the because the whole Xbox One launch thing is actually just something that I'm gonna touch on in 1 second. But when you look at a lot of the things that are commonplace now, right? Um, in gaming or in comic book movies, a lot of the things that both of these, one, the Zack Snyder fan base was getting slammed for, and the Xbox fan base was getting slammed for. A lot of these things are commonplace now, right? And moving on into the next topic, the moving of the goalposts, right? Like if you really trace these things back throughout the entire fandom from you want to start with release the Snyder cut, right? Like what were we told? We were told that Snyder cut didn't exist. Zach never shot that. What else, right? Like it was a pipe dream. Then after Zach said that it was real, then it was like, oh, it's never gonna come out, right? Warner Brothers is never gonna put it out, right? What have you. Then it gets kind of confirmed, and now it's oh, but it isn't gonna be any good, right? You know, like this, that, and the third. What is this going to mean? They were saying that it was going to set a bad precedence, right, for fandoms. There were all these like attacks and just moving of the goalpost the entire time, right? And after it came out and it was dope and everybody was loving it, then it turned into oh well, it's not going to continue, right? And then it was that for a while. Then it was all Zack's done. Zack doesn't want to do it anymore. The cast is done, right? This, that, and the third. I asked Zack personally. Zack said that he wasn't done, right? Then it's like, oh, but this sale thing can't happen. The sale thing is stupid, never gonna happen, not viable. Then it's like, oh well, now that it's apparently viable, oh, it's just never gonna happen because it's competition now, and then they start licensing stuff over to Netflix, and oh, it's this, that, right? It's just the goalpost is just like forever moving, right? It's been forever moving, and this has been helped along by a lot of these like more mainstream kind of like uh, geek and gaming sites, right? Movie sites as well. I'm gonna talk about IGN a bit because they're like one of the main outlets, and I highlighted them in the or I had the homie Austin highlight them in the thumb because I really think that they're kind of indicative of what's wrong with this entire situation, right? For as long as I can recall, like they've kind of played a huge part in like aggravating both of these fan bases, right? As I've touched on before, um, you know, obviously we all know about IGN and how they used to clickbait the Snyder fans, and I would be watching a whole different video. They be covering some video game, right? And then all of a sudden they throwing in the shot at the Snyder Cut fandom. I'm like, wait a minute, like what the hell is going on? Right? Like, why is this happening? When they had their little um movie podcast segment with your boy, his name was Jim Vavuda, right? When he used to be on there, same thing. They be covering some other topic. All of a sudden, random shot at the Zack Snyder fan base, and it's just like, yo, why are these things happening? And if you think about it, a lot of these, bigger outlets, they had a huge hand in driving a lot of these narratives, right? They were why these goalposts were getting moved, right? They were the ones moving them, right? And I'm about to get into it because if you turn and you look at the Microsoft the thing and that aspect of it, uh, when the Xbox One came out and it was released, uh, it was a lot of stuff going on at that time where you had the people talking about, the things that were mattering at that point were stuff like the indie games and the third party to support smaller stuff like that, right? All that type of stuff. Now, when you juxtapose that to when Sony was really at a point where that's all that they were releasing, and then you turn around and you look at the launch of the Xbox, and they had a lot more great launch games. What's the Money Train? They had a much stronger launch lineup, right, for the first few years, and yet none of that mattered, right? Sony was able to kind of wait and uh, float under the radar for a few years until they were able to get Uncharted 4 out, right? And then all of a sudden it became about exclusives, these big games, right? When that was like almost 3 years into the cycle of the platform. So then later on, it was all, oh, it's just, hey, that's what we're touting, right? That's what we're touting. Microsoft starts going through a bit of a drought. It's like, oh my God, Xbox has no games. But when they had a bunch of stuff coming out, like it wasn't about that, right? So there's been like this constant kind of moving of the goalposts, right? And it's the same kind of treatment from the same outlets, right? IGN, same the same people, right? So when you look at how that's really like what this means for today, right? This is the current situations that we are finding ourselves in, right? Because I've noticed it's ramping back up. And that's why we're here having this conversation. Because if you look at, there's two things that, or one a piece that this fan base has, or that these fan bases have had that are on the horizon or on the cusp, so to speak, is you had Zack Snyder having Rebel Moon about to drop later this year, December 22nd, right? We all know that movie's about to do gangbusters. Zack's name's been red hot. His trailer was the biggest thing out of Gamescom that entire weekend, right? Name been buzzing, all that, right? So you've had IGN and a lot more of these like mainstream companies kind of slowly but surely kind of like ramping up with their like little slights, kind of like backhanded compliments and things of that nature. And then also Microsoft's had this big huge game Starfield that is coming out, or that just released literally like yesterday on Game Pass, right? And it's not on any other consoles, and it's the same thing, right? Like you're getting these same outlets that are finding ways to try and like bait the Microsoft Xbox fan base, and like, oh man, it's the same, like with they're being super snarky in their reviews, like it's like for no reason other than it's just an Xbox game. So when they weren't having any games coming out, it was, oh man, Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games, and this is being mainly purported by, like I said, a lot of these bigger channels. And then when they start having stuff come out, then it's oh man, it's no, but they don't have any, or it's like we're just gonna slander this one for no reason now, right? And this is just crazy. Like I'm literally seeing both of these things happen at the exact same time by the same outlets, right? Um, and this has just been happening for the better part of a decade, right? Um, if you look at it, a lot of these sites was responsible for a lot of the toxic feelings of a bunch of the Snyder fans, right? Because we were seeing this stuff, and it was always just like negative comments and stuff like that, and we didn't really have anywhere to go to get any positive news, right? Which kind of to pushed us into these smaller communities like this one that we're in right now, right? So with that being stated, they're also low key the reason why the whole console war thing is really a thing, right? They, on one hand, always want to say, oh, well, we don't promote the console wars and we don't promote the fans fighting. But at the same time, they clickbait and enrage the fan bases like on purpose, right? Like, and it's extremely funny to watch these platforms do this at the exact same time, like right now, because you're literally seeing it. As I stated before with the whole Rebel Moon thing, like they had the interview with Zach where he dropped some great nuggets, right? And then immediately after that, they drop a video where they're dissing him in the thumbnail. And I'm like, yo, like, yo, can we at least pretend, right? You have that happening, and then you also have this same platform, right, dropping trailers and videos and stuff where they are leaving out that a game is even coming to the Xbox platform, right? Even if um, even if it's coming into Game Pass day one, right? Like they're literally like leaving facts out of the marketing, right? Like why are they doing that? We got Fudd Rocks and Sky. The points you're making remind me of the OG Superman, Jor-El. This planet will destroy itself in 30 days. Response. I say Krypton is just changing its orbit, right? No, like yeah, and this is the thing. Like I've always had all of these consoles, and that's why I feel also kind of qualified to talk about this because I think that Sony makes dope games, especially like their you like third person, like over the shoulder kind of stuff. It's dope, right? But at the same time, like there's been a lot of things that Xbox has uh brought, like in terms of like multiplayer gaming, right? Like we ain't even gonna go there, right? I mean, they really pushed the whole console online gaming space to where it is now, right? So it's crazy. Ill Life said during 360 gen Xbox was king. Facts, right? Dan Tassi said Sky is just figuring it out how clickbaity gaming sites are. Nah, like I'm just now talking about it because yeah, this is something that I've been noticing for a while, Dan. Like I ain't even gonna front, like this has been for like and I've seen them gaslighting these two fan bases more than any others. That's what I'm also trying to highlight is that I've seen these two fan bases be gaslighted more than any others. Signet said, all I got is a switch. Hey, I feel it. A switch count. Sin Habit said, Sky, IGN has been against Zack Snyder for at least a decade. Their stooges as gatekeepers of James Gunn for years. That's crazy, right? No, I definitely like, I used to not be able to turn to IGN and watch any video, right? I couldn't watch any video without without being wary of like, oh my God, is there going to be some Zach slander in here, right? Then when I finally kind of got over that, and then I was just always seeing them take shots at Xbox, I was like, yo, I just can't do this anymore. Like, why? I saw some article, some dude said that he watched 70 hours of like IGN content and was like just ripping it to shreds, like some journalist. I was like, bro, you better than me, bro. You are better than me, right? Yeah, Fuck Rock. Let them know, bro. Yeah. He said, y'all remember G4 TV? Of course, we remember G4 TV, right? Right. We got the world champ in the building, right? The world champ says Xbox is dope, but Xbox isn't getting Spider-Man 2 next month. Sony got the exclusive. Starfield feels like the first big exclusive Xbox had in a minute. Yeah. I feel like this, right? They both consoles have had droughts. Like they both have had droughts, and Microsoft like was kind of in a drought these last couple years, right? Where they didn't have any big AAA stuff, right? Absolutely. But at the same time, I also do feel like, you know, a lot of the Sony stuff, it be kind of sporadic as well. Like, God of War Ragnarok seemed almost more like a DLC add-on than like a true sequel. I mean, I hope we get like a more fleshed out version. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 looks dope. But I also think that the hype for Starfield been. I mean, I ain't been seeing many people talk about Spider-Man 2 right now. Just being for show for show. Yep. G4 TV. Man, y'all know nothing about no G4 TV, bro. Now y'all on that damn uh on that Switch talk. Before Rock said Hellblade, the sequel will be nuts. Gear 6 and Unreal Engine 5 and Doom Eternal sequel as under development. So yeah, it's like and not only just that, man, you got Perfect Dark. I think people sleeping over Perfect Dark gonna be, bro. Like it's so many games that they got coming out that's not gonna be on the other side. And it's just like I feel like it's way more stuff to look forward to. That game Contraband looks like it's gonna be super dope. And then who knows what these other studios are like doing, bro. It's so much stuff that we don't even know or that we do know about. I've been on State of Decay 2 with the homies recently, y'all know, because I was talking about it on night shift. But State of Decay 3, that's something else, right? That I think is going to be a massive game. They were already saying that they want the next one to compete with all these other AAA uh games, you know what I'm saying? That people have been coming to know and love. But I'm just saying, right? Yeah, y'all don't know about that Perfect Dark. Money Train says I ain't gamed in years. My boy about to sell me his PS5. That Mortal Kombat 11 looks fire. Yeah, the last few Mortal Kombats have been crazy. That was something else, right? IGN left out that Mortal Kombat was coming to Xbox in one of the damn trailers. It was like they had every other place it was coming to. It was like coming to PlayStation, Switch, PC, no Xbox. And like, bro, what is you doing, bro? What is you doing? Man, Dan Tasser says G4 was great at gaslighting gamers. God, the console wars are stupid. For sure, right? That's crazy. Yeah, man. Look, I'm just saying, it's like a lot of stuff that these fan bases have in common, yo. It almost seems like you know, they just pick certain fan bases to just like try to gaslight. And maybe it's because of like um how many fans we actually have, yo. Because I don't think that they would do it if it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I see things like what IGN has been doing, like it just really makes me feel like I think that people are waking up to what's going on, and that's why they've kind of been like getting more blatant with it. Like, I don't understand how you have a trailer that goes out, right? That has to go through um different people, right? It has to get okayed by different people. You know, it has to go through an editing process, and the editor has to look at it, right? And I don't know how like you have a compilation trailer of like multiple games, and then each game that has a console left off of it that it's really going to be on, it was Xbox. And I think it was like 3 or 4 games. Then that happens, there's like a big stink about it. Everybody brings it up, you know, and then what do? They do it again with another game that came out. I think it was like last week, Sea of Stars or something like that, where once again they left that off and was like, oh, you know, and it was the only console that was left off was Xbox, and it's like, yo, like you guys are doing this shit on purpose, right? Crazy, man. I think that at the end of the day, we just gotta wisen up as like consumers and as fan bases. We can't continue to like go for these uh clickbait tactics and like gaslighting and stuff like that because they're just gonna continue to do it, right? And I think that we really have to starve them of that engagement, you know? We really have to just say like, yo, like no more am I just gonna continue to click on your stuff if I know that you've been doing these types of things. For Rock says, damn, my typos are epic. Right? It's all good. Right. Uh-oh. Doug, Douglas Murphy says, oh, off topic here. Don't know if it's been mentioned. Apparently, Rotten Tomatoes exposed for people paying off critics for good reviews. Oh man, I don't know. I ain't heard about that. But would I be shocked? Would I be shocked? No. Right? Would y'all be shocked? Like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes, right? Ah, they were getting paid off. In other news, Walter went. Right? Come on now. Y'all, look, if anybody didn't know about Rotten Tomatoes after what happened with Captain Marvel, like, if y'all ain't know about that, since then, man, Captain Marvel should have let you know everything you needed to know about Rotten Tomatoes. 100%. It was like, yo. I don't know why y'all are surprised. The decree said it's trending now. We knew it all along. Hey. Hey. But Rock says maybe these studios should pay their actors and writers instead of reviews. Crazy. I saw something where it was like, yo, WBD said that they was projected to lose like 300 to 500 million or something And then the WGA was like everything they were asking for would have been like 47 million to cover the next like 3 years. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. But that's what happens when the studios are trying to like dig in because man, they ain't trying to give up that money, but they gonna have to. They're gonna have to because I got the feeling that this strike gonna last until it however long it needs to last. 100%. Oh my God. Man, y'all in the chat going ham right now. The road chat says, yeah, studios have been hiring PR firms to pay critics to leave specific kinds of reviews to inflate or decrease the Rotten and Tomato scores of movies to help with the studios out in their own ways. 100%, right? Because, yeah, like, if, look, once again, right? We was talking about these two fan bases, right? Zach with Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon got a lot of people, as I said, that wouldn't mind if this movie didn't do the best, right? They wouldn't mind. They would not mind. I'm sure certain people at WBD wouldn't mind, right? Especially DC Studios. You know, some of them wouldn't mind if it just came out and flopped, right? Or had no engagement. The critics hated it. Audiences rejected it. You know they be smiling bigger than a Cheshire cat. You know what I'm saying, right? You got certain people over at Disney, right? They'd be happy. You know what I'm saying? Because Rebel Moon might be some competition to Star Wars, right? Ahsoka was dope. I watched that episode last night. That was dope. But we know Zach might be hitting on a whole another level. You think they wouldn't mind if Rebel Moon kind of fell flat on his face? Just saying. You think that they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, promise a couple betas, some access, have them go jump in people's chats, right? Just saying. This is funny. Nathan said they're hoping for Rebel Moon to fail. You already know what's up. You know what's up, right? Flood Rock says Lucasfilm is deathly afraid of Rebel Moon. It's openly being called a Star Wars killer. Real Death Star inbound. Yo, not only that, right? But also, if you think that they didn't have their eye on it, look no further than I'm telling you when they moved up Ahsoka because the damn Rebel Moon trailer was coming out, right? Telling you, man, like it be like weird stuff going on, right? Like it be weird stuff going on. It'd be like stuff that I don't even know how to explain this, right? Like I've always wondered this because I was just talking about all that stuff on the Zack Snyder front, right? Let's take something like the Game Awards, right? The Game Awards is like the Oscars for video games. If any of you guys don't know, right? So this dude that like runs the gaming awards, like Jeff Keighley, he's like so openly like pro Sony and PlayStation, right? And it's like the weirdest shit because it's like, yo, imagine like whoever is like in control of the Oscars, right? They're just like openly just openly in love with Disney stuff, right? And then all of a sudden Disney and all their films are like always being considered for like Oscars and stuff like that, and then the rival companies like aren't, right? Like anytime that they put out something that would be considered like or that should be considered for like best film, it just happens to never get nominated, right? That'd be kind of weird, right? That'd be a little weird, right? So, we're just supposed to watch these things happen, when you're like part of certain fan bases. You're supposed to watch like, you know, these entities kind of move in a certain way, and then we not, really say anything about it. Crazy. Sin Havoc says that guy you just mentioned has stock value in Sony. See what I mean? Right? But then yet you'll have a game come out on Xbox that's super dope, should be nominated for Game of the Year, but just somehow it just never is. Right? It just never is, right? It just never happens. It can't happen. Won't happen. It's weird. Weird energy. We got Mark in the building with a $2 super chat saying, when is Zach gonna explain the full circle poster? Thanks for the super chat, Mark. If you're speaking to the full circle poster with the statue, you know what I'm saying? I think you'd have to ask Zach. Zach, it was the one that said before full circle that he was gonna explain that poster afterwards. But I don't know. If you ask me, I kind of think he said everything he needed to say with this poster. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the only poster that I acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for the super chat, Mark. Let me hit you off with this here. Drop real quick. Yeah.
For dark side. Not impressed.
They said that's that pay to play, Sky, right? They said Starfield will get a game of the year nom this year, Sky. Believe, right? Man, look, you think I'm gonna hold my breath, bro? You think I'm gonna hold my breath, bro? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got the homie Mr. Nobody in here, right? Yeah, what's going on, Mr. Nobody? Alex said, there you go, Sky. Show the people that poster. Again, the man said, sell it. Right? Yeah, like you already know what's up. That's the poster that I acknowledge, yo. I mean, what more can you say? What more can I say? What more can I do? Oh my God. We got the homie, the good Austin, saying, didn't know you were live. Hit the like button. Driving back to my brother's cribs in the hills of upstate in New York. God is good. Mikey verse forever. Right? Yeah. Keep on driving, Austin. Acknowledge the movement. Facts. Flood Rock says, look at ZSJL. We don't need anyone to tell us what greatness looks like. Look, us as any fan base, right? And that's kind of the whole point of this thing, right? Is or why I wanted to have this conversation to begin with, right? Because be a fan of what you want to be a fan of. Like, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't be a fan of. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't enjoy, right? Look at y'all in here. We got some Sony PlayStation fans in here. We got some Switch fans in here. Got some Xbox fans. Got some PC fans. Everybody seems to be getting along great, right? Same thing on the other side. Pretty sure it's some MCU fans in here. I'm pretty sure some of y'all is some closet the Batman fans in here. Y'all just don't be wanting to say it live in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, right? But I'm pretty sure that, it's some fans of a lot of stuff in here, right? I know Mama Bear love a bunch of the wacky stuff that be happening over on the DC side, right? Because she enjoys her comic book characters, right? So we're able to all come together still and have these conversations and be fans and be able to enjoy what we want to enjoy without engaging in any of like this negativity, right? And without engaging in any of these tactics that, you know, uh, these entities may be trying to use to try to, monetize on your emotions, right? Because they ain't getting me no more, yo. Like, yo, if I don't rock with a platform, I will go out of my way to watch some shit on another channel. 100%. 100%. Ill Life said, I'm so sick of all these superhero fatigue videos acting like that's why DC is flopping. No, DC is flopping because they abandoned us fans years ago and are making DC movies that aren't DC. Yo, you know what's crazy is I remember when they was just talking about how dope that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse movie was, right? Wasn't that shit just dope? Right? Wasn't that just dope, y'all? That was just dope, right? Like not even that long ago. It was dope, right? Not even that long ago. It was dope, right? Like when the picture from Deadpool 3 came out, right, with Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit, that was dope, right? And that was just dope too. That was just dope. Like not even that long ago, right? But then they want to, on the same hand, tell you that comic book superhero fatigue is setting in. It's like, no, Blue Beetle flopped because of executive decisions, yo. 100%. That movie could have stood a better chance if they hadn't announced a reboot last year. 100%. It'll rattle around. Right. Flood Rock says, Fact Scott, in 2000, I went to see Godzilla 2000 at the theater. There were maybe 7 people total in the entire auditorium. It was ridiculously fun and still one of my favorite Toho films. Right? Flood Rock says, DC, the crowd, which isn't us. Right? They want to copy the old Joss Whedon MCU. Yeah, look, it's not ever going to be to a point where I think that we're getting like the opposite in terms of like, you know, these sites or these entities will just flip and start like being like, oh my man, like ever like pro Snyder or pro Xbox or anything like that. But what I do think that we can do is that we can do like the cell movement did, Joe. Start moving your engagement elsewhere. And then hopefully with that lack of engagement, they will be forced to then try to act in ways that would be more respectful towards these fan bases. Right. 100%. Shit, they showed up for Spider Man. They want a good story, but I'm just saying, like, they wasn't crying superhero fatigue when that came out, right? And that was making money, you know. And maybe the superhero fatigue came from all the free screenings of the Flash that they gave out. Maybe that's where the superhero fatigue came from. They literally fatigued the audience by giving them free screenings like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm just saying, yo. Look, I'm gonna be closing down in like the next like 15, 20 minutes. So y'all put y'all last questions and comments down in the bottom. Man, this has been dope. I'm glad that I've been able to come here and have this conversation with you guys. I won't always be, bringing topics like this, but this is definitely something that I wanted to talk about. And we'll be back on with like some more of our regularly scheduled stuff. But this was definitely a conversation that I wanted to bring to you guys. Right. You guys are amazing, right? Man, yo, this community, man, let me speak to this once again, right? I want to speak to the resiliency of this community, yo, and the strength and like the willingness to endure because uh it's it's super special. It's super special, right? And honestly, I fall back on you guys' energy a whole lot because uh when people come in here and they say like little silly things, and what they're doing is they're trying to like knock us all off pace. They're trying to change the conversation. They're trying to get us to shift what we're talking about, to shift our focus, right? And all that kind of stuff. And having you guys here engaging with these conversations and really just continuing to stay on track and be positive, it makes it so much easier to just drown out all the outside noise and to just do what we need to do and to focus on the things that we need to focus on to be able to get our goals accomplished. And I just want to thank you guys again because when these things start coming to fruition, you guys will be uh, feeling like that special feeling because a lot of you guys were here throughout all these ups and downs, all these trials and tribulations. You guys were here and you continued to stay positive. You continued to stay effective, right? And we thank you. We thank you. And I thank you 100%, right? Chat real quick. Lawlessness says superhero fatigue. Is that why the Suicide Squad flopped? Yes, if man, look, yeah, that's why that one flopped. No, it flopped because of COVID restrictions. Even though Jungle Cruise was in the theaters at the same time and made a bunch more money, right? Even though wait, it was day and date, but even though other projects were still able to make more money that were also day and date, right? So it was only those things with that film. They didn't affect the other films in the same way, but that film was definitely affected. Definitely. Flood Rock says the studios are entitled to their failures, but they don't want to accept no, but they won't accept responsibility for the decision. And that's what's crazy. Because look, I've always brought that up, Flood Rock, right? You would have thought that they would have learned with Batman versus Superman, right? Like you guys made him take 30 minutes out of this movie. Uh, he puts out the Ultimate Edition. It's universally acclaimed as being better than the first one, being the better version, being the more complete version, right? You would think that they would look at that and say, yo, maybe we just need to let him cook, right? Because that's what I would have took from it. But no, what they do, they doubled down and it was like, no, we're going to interfere more. So yeah, you know, you guys can make all the choices that you want to make, but you also have to live with the consequences when you make those choices, right? There is no running from the accountability factor, right? At least not from somebody. Like somebody's going to say something. Like you can't expect the world to just not say anything, right? Like we're all just supposed to sit here and see what happens and not say anything, right? Like, no, that's not gonna happen. The Nightwing says, I'm just glad to see you streaming again, bro. Man, look, I was ramping back up last weekend, and I was spoiler, I was supposed to do this stream, I think it was Saturday night. But yeah, I end up just man, I've been so busy. I've been so incredibly busy. And like the time that I was getting, it wasn't enough time to be able to go live. So yeah, but I'm back and we gonna be here. Man, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, we got announcements coming that we getting ready to give to y'all, yo. So don't fret. None of you guys fret. I'm not going nowhere. Y'all gonna be getting a whole lot more of me, right? Nathan said what they need to do is put Zack Snyder's Justice League in the movie theaters. Yo, what they need to do is they need to sell ZSJL and the rest of the Snyderverse to Netflix because that way we can get a continuation and a conclusion to the arc of Zack Snyder's DC story. So, right, facts. Sickness said 24 other movies managed to perform better than the Suicide Squad. He said not 4 or 7 or even 10. He said 24. All right. Mama Bear said also don't call the fans toxic and fractious, then get upset when they don't show. Don't need the studios acting like a toxic relationship. They be gaslighting, yo. Gaslighting, right? Good also says, shit, I wish we could get another great superhero game besides Spider-Man. Yo, I think there's one coming. I think there's one coming. And yo, telling you, I'm gonna be covering some gaming stuff too. Cause I've been playing a little bit more Xbox now. I've been back on my console a little bit. Market said it flopped because Jupiter was over Saturn. That's probably why, bro. Mercury was in retrograde like a month. Oh my god, you guys are hilarious. Yeah. What's this? Ill Life said, I believe that Emmerich, Johns, and all of them sabotaged BVS and Justice League on purpose. I really think they were hating Zach from jump. Johns wanted to be him. Toby was pissed he wasn't getting his gun suits movie. Look, uh, the homie Leon, man, Leon had some great intel on that whole situation. Leon got the best intel. He's the best one to actually talk to about how far this whole thing goes back. Because it go back to before BBS, bro. Leon can confirm that. Can confirm it went back. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me let me do something real quick. Hold on. Let me hit the homie. I'm about to see if he can come confirm some shit for me real quick. Well, we gonna get to it though. This thing definitely was going on like way before. This is a Skywalker first. This is hilarious. Oh man. Sin Havoc says, happy to see you stream it again. Savitar and Skywalker, they go all the time. You need we're with you. Yo, yeah, I'm gonna be here. And thank you guys for being here, right? Thank you guys for being here wholeheartedly, right? Uh, Brogu, go ahead and get some sleep. All good, homie. Thanks for stopping through. Shin, aka K, says the real question is who's gonna make a new Superman game. Thing about that is I want to know whether or not it's gonna be in canon to the DCU because wasn't everything supposed to be canon, but then the Batman wasn't, and then Swamp Thing might not be, and then like Joker 2 not gonna be canon, and then like some of the animated stuff ain't gonna be canon. It's just like, oh, all right. Mm, said new. They're still working on Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Yo, that game. I mean, I think. Oh my god. Shin said Skywalker. Did you read that article from former DC President Diane Nelson? No, I haven't. I haven't read it. I haven't read it. Zach got brought in over their heads because of Nolan's word of mouth. Yep, because Nolan had the juice, right? Because Nolan had the juice from the Dark Knight trilogy, yo, as he should have, right? I mean, if I just created, this franchise that brought in billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all should listen to me too. I would have listened to him, right? And were they not correct? You know what's so funny about that whole thing is they're all hot, like, oh man, Zach got fast tracked or whatever. Zach's not even a comic book guy. I'm supposed to be the guy, right? I'm supposed to be the guy, right? And none of y'all had that it factor, yo. Ball cap didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Ball cap. Oh my God. Sin Havoc says Dwayne Johnson recently revealed that Jeff Johns was already working behind the scenes with James Gunn for at least 6 years, right? Which could confirm that he was working with the ops the whole time because he was over at Marvel, wasn't he? For part of that, pretty sure. Ball cap. Hashtag Nolan was right. Right. Said for the DCU, everything in guns, DCU is connected. I'm just saying, look, bruh, I'm just saying, when you say that everything's going to be connected, right? Games, television, movies, right? Everything. Right? I don't know, man. Ill Life said, yeah, the Civil War and Infinity War Endgame, the similarities weren't coincidental. Bruh, they had the whole thing, bruh. They had the whole bird over there, right? They had the whole thing. You guys are hilarious. But yeah, look, I might start closing up. I don't think that the homie Leon could come through. That'd have been funny though. You know, it's late over there in Florida. Leon probably is somewhere patrolling Gotham right now, right? For sure. That is hilarious. But before we get on out of here, make sure once again that you guys, if you can, hit the Mikey Sutton Family GoFundMe um, in the description. That would be super dope, and it would mean a lot to me if you guys are able to do so in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As I said before, it's only going for a couple more days, so we want to try to give the family a big push at the end. And if you guys can give anything, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, as for me, yo, we're definitely gonna be back. Yo, I got a lot of announcements cooking for you guys, yo. Um, I'm being for real. We got a lot of stuff in the works. A lot of things being worked on. And I just want you guys to stay tuned, right, to this platform. And also follow me on Twitter at Skywalker Tweet. Yo, a lot of stuff going on. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to the whole live crew that was able to be here and rock out and add to the conversation. Shouts out to everybody that's gonna be part of replay crew. Shouts out to all you guys as well. You guys are all amazing. We're gonna catch y'all next time. Yo, stay tuned and we'll be back soon. Peace.